Bringing you your best Delmarva life. You know, there are a lot of life-changing events that happen that you need to try to prepare for. It's never too early to start preparing for the future and the best interest of your loved ones. Now, should something happen to you, and eventually something's going to happen to all of us, the question is, do you have a plan in place for those that you would leave behind? Joining us today to talk about wills and trust is Dean Betts from the Betts Law Firm in Georgetown. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is the kind of thing that a lot of people don't want to think about too soon because it's almost morbid.
It is. It's a difficult thing to think about and plan for, but it's very important to do so early. The earlier the better, in fact. I can't tell you the number of calls I get from people that say, oh, mom's in the hospital and she doesn't have a will. Can you prepare a will for her now? And unfortunately, sometimes they're not competent to do so at that time, and it's too late.
And it's pretty stressful.
Well, if you plan ahead, you can avoid those problems and have your plan in place so that you don't have to worry about those down the future.
What kind of things are in a will that would be so important for the people that are left behind that they're not going to have to worry about, or did I do this right, or something like that? What kind of stuff do we need to make sure we include?
Well, there's two very important purposes for a will. First of all, you want to ensure that the property that you own goes to the people that you want it to go to. If you don't have a will, there's a law that says who gets your property when you die. And those folks may not be the people that you want to get the property. So that's the most important thing regarding a will, that you can ensure that the property you have goes to the people that you want it to go to.
Right.
But secondly, and as importantly, is you get to name the person that's going to make sure that your wishes are carried out.
Yeah.
The executor of your will will make sure that your wishes are carried out and that the people that you have designated can ensure that that happens. If you don't have a will, then again, there's a law that says who gets to decide who administers your estate, and that person may not choose the person that you want.
Okay, you're talking about the executor. Now, I see, I'm not really familiar with legal terms and exactly what they mean. You've got an executor for a will. There's also power of attorney, or POA. How does power of attorney come into play?
Well, a power of attorney is a document that you can designate somebody during your lifetime who will manage your affairs, either your financial affairs or your medical affairs. A power of attorney expires when you expire. Okay. So at that point, that's when your will takes over, and the person that you designate in your will to handle those affairs takes over from there.
So it would be smart of me now to, and I'm just guessing here, to designate my wife as my power of attorney, because if I wind up in the hospital, whatever, unable to respond, or I just can't take care of things, then she would have legally what's necessary.
That's correct. She would have the authority to make decisions for you that you otherwise could make for yourself if you were able to, but when you're not able to, she could step in and say yes.
So, and I run into this a lot when I'm talking like to credit card companies that have her name, and I have to get her authority for them to talk to me. This would express that if it were the other way around.
That's correct.
I'm his wife, I've got his power of attorney, and they can take care of that. Okay. One more question I've got that I'm really, really curious about, and I'm hoping you can shed some light on this so that I can get a better understanding of what a living will is. It seems contradictory. We've already talked about a will after you've passed on, but now we're talking a living. What is a living will?
A living will is known as an advanced healthcare directive under the law. And it is a document that you use to express your wishes with regard to what medical care you would like to receive, or more importantly, that you would not like to receive, in case you're unable to express your desires at the time that the decision has to be made.
It's already in writing.
It's already in writing. Typically, it is end-of-life decisions regarding when you're terminally ill or permanently unconscious. Do you want to be able to die naturally, or do you want to be hooked up to machines and be artificially kept alive?
Gotcha. All right. So
you can designate what you want in your living will. Do you want to be kept alive artificially? Do you want to be allowed to die naturally?
Gotcha. So right now, if you're really just getting started on what it is you're doing, the top 3 things that you would probably want to make sure that you have taken care of would be wills, would be the power of attorney, and your living will. Make sure that you've got everything squared away the way it should be. Dean Betts, thank you so much for coming in from the Betts Law Firm in Georgetown. Hang on for me just a second. Up next on Delmarva Life, our etiquette expert visits once again to try to help us avoid any sticky situations. This time around, we're talking weddings and, by the way, funerals in event etiquette. We'll be back with your best Delmarva Life.